Hello, everyone. I'm Aurelio Martinez. And if you follow my podcast or have been following politics here in Denver, you'll know that I'm running for Denver mayor again, and that election is April 6th, 2027. And I will be talking to you today about party affiliations, and we'll talk about the main two, your Democrats and your Republicans. And it's important that we talk about the affiliations, especially here in Denver, because Denver elections are nonpartisan elections. You don't have to belong to any political party in order to run for office or in anything politically. And the reason I changed about 6, 7 years ago, is because I don't want any political party to take my vote for granted simply because I belong to their party. The thing that has been happening as of lately for the past few years is the Democrats and the Republicans are so busy fighting amongst one each other that they forget the people are the ones that need to benefit. In other words, if the Republicans put out something that's going to be good for the city or the state, then the Democrats hate it. And vice versa, Democrats put something on the table that's going to benefit the people that live here, work here, and have businesses in here, then the Republicans hate it. And it becomes a war between parties and not so much what benefits the city of Denver and the people that live here. So we're going to do that. I mean, just for the record, I am officially registered as a non-affiliated voter. So, and I'm not the only one. I want to talk about Denver on this. If you look at Denver itself, there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way, and a lot of people out there that are getting a little frustrated with the politics that go on, as they should be. If you take the numbers of registered voters in Denver, you'll see that you can add the Republican registered voters and the Democrat voters, add them together, combine them together, and the non-affiliated registered voters outnumber both of them combined. People are now starting to stand up and say, "Hey, listen, we need change, and we're not going to follow a political party just because they don't like what the other party is doing. We need someone that's going to do the best for Denver, do the best for us as the people that live in Denver, work in Denver, and have small businesses in Denver." And that's what I'll do. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'm not in this race for a political career. I can care less about climbing up any ladder. I'm here to become mayor of Denver. I'm here to make Denver into the city that people want to come to, that they want to visit. I'm here to make it the best it can be for the residents that live here, for the people that work here, not necessarily live here, but work here, and the businesses that do business in Denver. We need to take care of everyone as a whole, and we have to make Denver beautiful again. That encompasses a lot. I mean, there's a lot of major issues in the city that have to be looked at carefully, and they have to be taken care of. In other words, we need to find solutions. We need to find solutions for for the issues that we have been facing for years. And I can name them all. I can name a bunch of them. There's too many to name. The housing, the homeless, the migrants, um, the uh, the downtown, the central business district, which we did a video on that last. Uh, but it goes on and on and on. The crime, especially downtown. Uh, we need to fix these issues, and we can't just talk about them. We just can't talk about ideas, because ideas are ideas and they're not necessarily solutions. We will come up with solutions, and keep with us. Ask me any question you want, but as we get closer to the election, you'll see that we'll come up with solutions that work, and they will take care of everything. Taxes. I mean, we will do another episode, another show, a segment on the podcast talking about taxes. I mean, my goodness, Mayor Johnston already has tried to raise taxes twice, and there's another election coming up to raise taxes. And we can't just keep raising taxes. The businesses along South Broadway, they will be voting on raising their own taxes, another tax increase to try to keep South Broadway beautiful. Isn't that the city's job? I mean, come on. Let's stop getting taxed more and more. Denver is expensive enough to live in as it is, to continue to tax the people that live, work here, and do business here. So, with that being said, let's go back to the political parties. Uh, unaffiliated voters, I have mentioned, outnumber both Democrats and Republicans combined, and we're saying something. And that tells me, and that tells everybody in this city, that the people that are voting really are now starting to look into the issues and start looking into how they vote. They don't necessarily go along political lines. I remember growing up uh, as a kid, as an adolescent in high school, and turning 18, where I had to register. I didn't have to, but it was time to register to vote. But I did have to go register for the draft. For those of you who remember them days. So anyhow, it was a big change in my life when I turned 18. Now the responsibilities came. Things. I had a voice in things I said. So I still remember my mom, telling me, "Well, you have to register to vote. You have to register as Democrat." And I said, "Well, why, Mom? It's just, well, because Democrats are for the poor and Republicans are for the rich." And that's the way it was back then. And if you go fast forward to today, that still plays a big part in among party lines. Okay, but things have changed in the district. Now we have so much lip service coming from the parties and Democrats and all, but they know that once they get elected, they don't have to really follow up on that, and nothing can be done. And my point is that we cannot fix Denver from the outside in. You know, we have to have someone in there, someone's genuine, that's going to work on behalf of the people that live here, work here, and of course have their businesses here. And that's exactly what I'll do. My hands will not be tied um, by any PAC, by any organizations, any dark money that floats in to elect the candidate of their choice. And that's another reason why we're starting early, is because we need to build up our war chest by you, the people that are here. And them, of course, we're not talking about, you know, $1,000, $2,000, hundred thousands of dollars of donations coming into PACs and all that. We're talking about you and other people like you and me in the city that are going to donate 10, 20, 30, 40, $50. Uh, like I told our core group that's working on this campaign and starting to gear up toward the campaign, I said, listen, all we have to do is get a war chest of $1 million. $1 million, and I guarantee him we'll win this race. Because we, as grassroots people living here in Denver, I lived here all my life, can do more with $1 million than they can do with $5, $6 million of dark money. Everyone knows the dark money goes toward TV commercials because it's subliminal. They put the candidate's face on TV over and over and over, and before you know it, you've seen this commercial, 1,000 times, and all of a sudden you go to vote or fill in the dot, and that's the person you remember. And it's worked. It's worked in the past, but it's not going to work this time because we can counter that. We can counter that. I talked about Mike Johnston trying to raise taxes twice already, and the people have turned that down, the ones that needed to go to a vote. And I think now the people have put their foot down, and politicians have to listen. Elected officials have to listen. You just can't keep giving money, throwing money away to organizations that are not held accountable and that don't show a positive for the city of Denver. That won't happen under our administration. And you'll see that. We're going to work hard. So, regardless if you're registered as a Democrat, a Republican, or unattached, listen to what we're saying, listen to the other candidates, and see who's talking things that can happen and just you'll get a feel from the status quo candidates because they're polished politicians. Boy, they've got people telling them what to tell you. They got people to get in your ear about this and that. But do your research and see how much of it has happened. I mean, we'll come back and we'll do other shows, but just I'll leave you with this. You can go back downtown, all the homeless that were taken off the street as a promise by Mayor Johnston were taken off the street. Things started to look good. Have you been downtown yet? Well, they're coming back. Why are they coming back? Because he took them off the street for a temporary time period, just for his numbers will make his promise good. But now they're out again, and where are they going? Okay, we'll talk about all that. So in the meantime, hit subscribe button, subscribe to us. When we get a certain amount of subscriptions of subscribers to our channel, we'll be able to go live, and we will go live, and we'll have guests, we'll have interaction, conversation, and let's take this down. I mean, 23 months is not a long time. Let's band together. Let's win this race. Till the next one. Ciao.